Good evening and welcome to the Nest. My name is Y254 and I'll be your host as we continue to discuss all matters that affect parenting and away from parenting. For instance, tonight's topic is one very interesting topic which cuts across everybody and all boards, and that is HIV. What happens if you get pregnant and maybe you do not know you have HIV? What happens when you go for your first prenatal appointment? What if you find yourself HIV positive? What do you do? Where do you start? Do you worry about your child's well-being? Guess what? There's hope. Gone are the days where mothers are doomed into having children because of their HIV status. Not themselves, it's a status, and it just happens. Medicine has come a long way, education has come a long way either, but don't be fooled, this virus is lethal because to understand that there are various strains, and it doesn't mean that if you're infected, you cannot be reinfected. We're going to discuss all this and more right here on the Nest. And before that, watch this video, but do not move. We'll be right back.
HIV is short for Human Immunodeficiency Virus, which causes AIDS, which is abbreviation for Acquired Immune Deficiency Syndrome. HIV is transmitted through unprotected sex, sharing of sharp objects and needles, mother to child during pregnancy, birth, and breastfeeding, as well as contaminated blood through transfusions. It is an incurable disease, however. Strict adherence to antiretroviral regimens, ARVs, can dramatically slow the disease's progress as well as prevent secondary infections and complications. Someone who is infected with HIV and on treatment can have a normal life expectancy. Research shows that 1 in every 5 people living with HIV don't know they are infected. The best way to go about this virus and being able to curb its spread is by taking the initiative to know your status. The term HIV testing services (HTS) is used to indicate the full range of services that a client is offered together with HIV testing. This includes counseling, which is done before and after testing, linkage to appropriate HIV prevention, care and treatment services, and other clinical support services. It also involves coordination with laboratory services to support quality assurance and deliverance of correct results. All HIV testing services must include 5 C's, that is informed consent, confidentiality, counseling, correct test results, and connection, which is linkage to care and treatment. Today on the show, we get to best understand how to go about HIV testing, counseling, infant care, and more.
Welcome back. Like I had mentioned, this topic is not new. This topic is still strange to others. The stigma is real, but the question is, what happens if you find yourself in that situation? I'll give you an example. If you're born with HIV, surely, are you going to keep running away from it, or will you face it? And I love the saying that I am not HIV. HIV is a host to the body, but you're not it. And there's no better person to talk to about this topic other than our amazing guest today, who I will let introduce herself. Please.
My name is Judy Wamari. I am a counseling psychologist by profession, and I still do HIV testing and counseling.
Nice.
Yes.
Great. Judy, what inspired you to get into this career path? And maybe you can give me a bit of your growing up background. You know how, because everything starts from a certain place,
Yes.
yeah?
Yes.
Like, where did you grow up, your education, and to where you are today?
Okay. I'm from Thika, born and raised in Thika. Counseling psychology has been a big part of my journey. My mom has been my biggest inspiration. My dad has been a teacher for a very long time. So my mom she's a nurse by profession. So coming to hear about the stories that she comes with in the evening, talking about the women, talking about the children that maybe a mother has left the child
Yes.
at hospital
Yes.
because she has found out that she's HIV positive. So that made me want to dig deeper and
Yes.
find out why someone can do that. What is going on in their mind? What is going on
Yes.
in their life at
Yes.
that particular moment?
Right.
So that helped. I think that one is something that motivated me to
Yes.
do psychology and
Yes.
also do
Yes.
testing of HIV and
Right.
counseling.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So you clear, I'm assuming, high school.
Yes.
And you say, I am going to take this path in life. How has it been for you from school time? You know, when you're being taught, is there a time you were like, "Hey, this is not what I want to do"? Yeah, it's interesting if you can walk us through that.
Okay.
Yes.
Actually, I took a diploma in IT.
Okay.
Now
Wow.
that is something that I regret
Yeah.
kabisa.
Oh, right.
Because I was told when you do IT, iko na pesa, you're going to like do a lot of things and
Yes.
stuff.
Yes.
But deep down, it wasn't for me.
Yes.
But for psychology, and then after I cleared, I did a lot of I did sales of IT stuff, computers, and everything else.
Yes.
And then after that, there was no fulfillment. You know, like
The fire
yes,
wasn't
there
there.
wasn't. There's nothing.
Yes.
So I just switched, and I just decided I will go and do psychology, and it has worked for me, and
Wow.
it has been a journey. Psychology 1, you learn about yourself first, and then so that you can be able to help someone else. Because if you don't understand the issues that you yourself you're going through, and the issues that are surrounding you that have made you be the person that you are, and the things maybe your parents, what did they do that was not right, that was wrong? How has society influenced you? How has your peers influenced you? So psychology, it encompasses all that for you first, and then you can be able to help someone else to understand
Yes.
themselves.
Yes.
Because psychology is about, people have that perception of psychology, you
must be
unasoma
more-
mtu
yes,
akili,
yes,
then
akili.
unajua. No, it
It's like you're a
doesn't.
magician.
Yes,
Yes.
it doesn't work like that. Because in psychology, it's what you talk about. It's what you're going through.
Yes.
And as a psychologist, you're supposed to direct or give guidance.
Yes.
I am struggling with, for example, I'm struggling with maybe alcohol.
Yes.
What is the root cause?
Aha.
You see?
Yes.
There has to be a root cause as to why you're having alcohol issues. Is it your background? Is it childhood
Yes,
traumas?
yes.
Is it,
Yes.
what is it that has led you to this point?
Yeah, exactly.
You see?
And I think in a different way to put it is this is a realization that any addiction, alcoholism, sex, name it, I think it's a coping mechanism
Yes.
of a trauma that sometimes we're not even aware of.
Exactly.
Aha.
That is very true.
Yes.
Because you can, most of the time, a trauma can happen,
Yes.
and then suppress.
Very true.
You see,
Yes.
unaiweka huko nyuma, in the back of your mind, but
Yes.
that thing is still there.
Yes.
It has not gone away.
Yes.
Even if you put it in the subconscious, it is still there. And the more unaifungia, is the more it will find a way of
Yes.
getting out.
Yes.
Ni kama venye pressure cooker. You have like
Very true.
umekelea
Yes.
githeri ama umekelea mbosho.
Yeah.
But
Italipuka at
it
some
will,
point.
yes,
Yes.
it will still have
Yes.
kutoka.
Exactly.
So that is what is happening in the society. We are having so many people who are dealing with a lot of issues, but the issues hatujajua zilitoka wapi.
Kweli.
There has to be.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I think that is now the issue equal at this point. That's why
Right.
unapata kuna so many people who are becoming mad.
Yes, yes, yes.
Sindio?
Yes.
Kwa sababu ukiangalia the percentage of mad people on the streets and kitambo and now it's bigger.
Yes. It's true.
It's a bigger,
It's true.
a bigger number.
It's a crisis, actually.
Yes.
Yes.
So, and most of us, we are not talking about the issue.
And it's true,
We are
especially
not
men.
talking. Exactly.
Especially men. Because, I mean, in a day-to-day for you, in the aspect of counseling and psychology, who are your clients? Who are your clients?
Actually, where I work, we normally deal with young girls.
Aha.
You see,
Okay.
young girls, kabisa, because most of the time, these young girls are going through a lot of things.
Very true.
And considering maybe they are maybe from vulnerable homesteads, the father might be a drunk,
True.
the mother might also be irresponsible. So what happens, these girls, they're finding themselves in situations that, one, early pregnancy, if it is not pregnancy, they are HIV positive, if it is not HIV positive, or you'll find that maybe this girl is HIV positive, hajui,
Oh, dear.
because the parent alimwambia akona shida ya kifua.
Wow.
You see,
That is
so
sad.
this child anajuanga na kunyonga dawa za kifua, but hii kifua haishagi.
Yes.
You see, so it makes, so it, that way inafanya mambo inakuwa a little bit tight.
True, true.
You see?
Yes.
Yes.
And again, now let's come to the topic at hand, which is HIV. Maybe to a person, again, like I mentioned, it's a known thing. In fact,
Yes.
anybody and everybody knows about HIV. Even the person who is being told Nikifua, who comes, do you know what HIV is? And they'll be like, yes, but they don't know it. But like, you know, explain like explaining to a 2-year-old, what is HIV?
Okay, HIV is a virus. The virus, normally people mistake HIV and AIDS.
Yes.
Those are two different things.
Yes.
Because the virus, you can live with it. Ni kama kwa na virus ya homa. We all have virus ya homa.
Yes.
The only thing that in a need, it just requires a trigger.
Yes.
So that ukwe na homa, either upigwe na baridi,
Yes.
ama ukwe, you know, like there has to be maybe the dust, utapata homa. But the virus ya homa iko bado. So HIV itself is a virus.
Yes.
So what it does, it suppresses your immunity. You see? So when it suppresses your immunity, that is when utapata, this person akona TB, today, tomorrow akona herpes, the next day akona pneumonia. So the more the infections that anapata, the more the immune system yake inaenda chini. Na immune system yake ikienda chini, what happens? No, they develop HIV. No, they develop, sorry, they develop AIDS.
Yes.
AIDS is the disease itself. Yes.
Okay, so these are the opportunistic
Infections. Yes.
That is when you're too sick. But scientifically, how do you measure when someone is too sick? Because I could be having HIV and then I have a cold. Does that make me have AIDS? How do you measure that?
Okay. There's something that we call the HIV virus. We measure it in terms of viral load. Yeah.
Okay.
It's called viral load. So we will do a test. The HIV, after any person who's HIV positive, anafanyangwa viral load at 6. Assuming to make test leo, and then we find out that you're HIV positive. We'll give you the ARC treatment, and then after 6 months, we will test for the viral load.
Okay.
At 6 months, then we'll know umekuwa ukikunywa dawa. The virus is reducing, or zinaongezeka, ama ziko tu. Sawa.
Yes.
And then after 1 year, we will still do another viral load. So that we see unakunywa dawa vizuri, what is it that is making you virus haisongi, haiendi chini, ama virus level yako imebaki the same place, or ina increase. What are the triggers? Is it that you're not taking your medication well? Is it that your timing yako ndio ina miss? Haukunywi dawa. Because there are people who take medication but hakunywi. Anakuja every clinic, very religious, anakuja, anakunywa, anachukua dawa, but they don't take. You see? That person anaweza kuwa maybe ana go through psychological issues, anaweza kuwa maybe ana go through, because you can test someone for HIV today, And then I say I will take my medication.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Very nice. Clinic atakuja, but this person hakunyangi dawa. Reason being,
yes.
this person alitestiwa. Haku go through haja process. Kwa sababu, we say like HIV, the testing itself and counseling, this is a person who has gone through loss and grief. Because alikuwa na livelihood. Sindo. Sasa mahesabu zenye napiga kwa kichwa, now what do I do? Nimepatikana niko na HIV, then what? Do I tell my husband? Do I tell my children? How will my family take it?
Yes.
You see?
Yes.
So this is a person who's going through a lot of things, na ndio maana atakuja kuchukua dawa. Atakuja kuchukua dawa na atafanya everything else that is required.
Yes.
But the question is, the viral load is not reducing.
Wow. Okay.
You see?
Yes.
Because they have not actually dealt with the issue at hand. You see? So this person amekuja, we test for the viral load. The people who viral load yao inaenda chini haraka kwa sababu anakuja dawa vizuri, and then they're doing the necessary things. Sawa? Or maybe because we normally advocate for anyone who's HIV positive to take your ARVs and use a condom. Okay? Because maybe me and you in a relationship, for example, yeah? Mimi najua niko na HIV, but I have not told you that niko na HIV.
Wow.
You see?
Wow.
So what happens? We will still be having sex.
Yes.
I don't know kama we uko na HIV.
Yeah.
So what happens? I will still be reinfecting myself,
Right.
and I'm still taking my medication.
I see. I
You see? So
Mm-hmm.
that's what it will lead for the viral load inakosa kuteremka.
Could reduce. Could you just explain to us a bit of that, yeah? Because I think, again, growing up and, seeing, these hookups, like in the newspaper, somebody's looking for a partner, they describe themselves, and you'll see someone else describe themselves, and they've said, I'm HIV positive, I'm also looking for a HIV positive partner.
Yes.
And I think the little I know is that you can get reinfected. But could you just break down for us how that happens? Are there different kind of strains? How many are they in total? What happens?
Okay. What happens is the HIV virus, I might be having a strain, yeah? They're different strains. I'm not very sure, but I think it imefika kitu kama G strain or something of that sort.
Okay, so that's from A.
Yeah, from A.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay,
going.
So there's also discovery ongoing.
Yes.
Okay.
HIV is evolving.
Oof.
Because
Yeah.
HIV yenye ilikuwa kitambo is not the same, because it's just it's consistently
Right,
evolving.
right.
Because assuming that I am HIV positive, you're HIV positive, and then maybe I have like 2 more people who I'm having sex with. You're also having 2 other people who you're having sex
Sure.
with, right?
Yes.
So what happens if my other 2 people, they also have HIV, we don't know the strain that they have. So, and you also have like 2 more, and you don't know the strain that they have.
True.
So what happens? Zina merge. Unaona?
Wow.
So it inakuja, it brings up another whole new strain.
Wow.
You
Okay.
see? So I think that's the problem, and that's why maybe kupata the cure itself, it's becoming a little bit tricky, because you're the consistent evolving every other time. It is still evolving. Yes.
My goodness, well, I've done my enough study about HIV and AIDS, and I feel like you're right. It's evolving. The education should evolve as well. And again, just to draw a picture, let's humanize HIV testing. Let's humanize what you do. I know the few times, well, maybe back in the days when I'd go to get my HIV test and they do that prick and they put it and you're there shaking and you're like, God, please, if I don't have it, I will never.
Yes.
Until now, when I became a mother, and now it's a routine thing for me. Every year I have to do my blood work. Yes, and I might know myself, and I know I've not exposed myself. However, I always say it's good to know.
Yes.
And I've gotten that confidence. But what about that person who the thought of coming to you
Yes.
as the lady who removes those things and cancels them and tells them it's okay, there's life after this. Could you just draw a picture for us as to that person who might need your services? How can they come in? What do they expect? Walk us through all that.
Okay.
Yes.
So, I HIV testing room. You'll find actually we normally advocate for one person. If you're coming as a couple, that is okay. But if you're coming alone, but you cannot come to the HTS room and say, this is my best friend. I want my best friend to sit here and see my results.
Oh, I see. It's ethically not allowed.
Yes.
Okay.
Reason being,
Yes.
this best friend of yours might decide to go and tell the whole
The
world.
whole world, yes.
No,
That happens.
that happens.
Yes.
So when you come, you're welcome. Hi, how are you? My name is, I need to introduce myself because you cannot be talking to a stone. So I need to introduce myself. I am Judy, and I'll be the one who will be taking you through your HIV testing. We have 3 aspects of the testing.
Yes.
One, we have the pre-counseling. We have the pre-test.
Okay.
That is where we do a counseling session on what has made you come to for testing.
Yes.
What risks have you put yourself in? Do you think, do you need, what is the nini imekuleta kutestiwa? Okay. And I normally say, this is where if you feel like you're not ready, after tumeongea, uniambie yenyewe by the way, mi venye nimeona, I cannot be able.
Yes.
You're allowed to leave.
Yes.
Because I'm not supposed to force you.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
So you're allowed to leave. And then we prepare for the test. The test, I will just draw any of these.
Why those 3?
These 3.
Yeah,
these
why
2.
those? Yes.
Because inakuwa it's easier.
The nerves,
draw, yes.
or rather the veins are closer.
Yes,
Okay.
closer. So inakuwa easier to draw blood. We test. I will show you the result. I will explain to you. We'll have 2 test kits. One, we call it determine. There's the first test kit that every your kwanza sensitivity. Yeah.
Yes.
So we'll show you. This is how it goes. If it comes 1 line, it means that you're HIV negative. If it comes 2 lines, that means that you're HIV positive.
Yes.
And if you're HIV positive, we will need to repeat.
Yes.
With a different test kit to confirm your status.
Yes.
And then, if we find that that one is still HIV positive, when I am going to take you for care and treatment, you'll also be tested again.
Yes.
With the same process again. Reason being, normally it's advisable because tunaweza test, alafu iko na discrepancy. It happens.
Could you tell me? Yes. Could you tell me how does it happen often?
No, it does not happen often. But if it does, there are procedures on how to handle, because you can test and then you find that this one is the sensitivity one is positive, and then unakuja ukitest ya pili inakuwa negative.
I mean, has it ever happened to you? And I don't know if you're comfortable telling me the few steps, maybe just in general, what you do. First of all, to calm the client down and then tell them it's okay. And then, that process, because it can be very torturous.
It is torturous.
Yes.
And that's why before you start testing, you need to have created a rapport with this client.
With the client.
Reason being, so that your client are comfortable, feel easy when you... And then it is also okay to change topic. Okay? Because you're told you need to look at the client, body language. Body language, the reasons as to why amekuja kutestiwa. Unaona? So if this client, ukimwangalia uone, tension imekuwa, ameanza kuwa na mawazo, amenyamaza, those are indicators. So you give that client maybe time, because the people who come and they cry like uncontrollably, so unampa time.
Of course, you have to calm them down.
They go through the emotion at that particular moment, and then from there we discuss. you've seen your results. As you had said, this is the reason as to why ulikuwa umekuja kutest. What are the things that do you think that would a change in your lifestyle, in whatever you're doing that has led you to this point?
All right, so regardless of the results being negative or positive, there's always a conversation afterwards.
You will have a conversation.
Absolutely.
It is very important to have a conversation because still hata wewe mwenye ako negative alikuwa na vitu.
Ni kweli.
Sindo?
True.
Alikuwa na vitu.
Absolutely.
So that's why you're sitting them down and having a conversation to understand. Tumetest, umepatikana negative. Then what?
Okay.
You've said you have like 4 or 5 guys. We mwenyewe unaonaje?
Yes.
You see?
Yes.
So we find that maybe umepatikana uko HIV positive.
Yes.
So what do? Do we start treatment? That is the protocol that you're supposed to start treatment. But we normally give at least 2 weeks. Unampatia dawa za 2 weeks. So that akikuja follow up, because we give normally 2 weeks so that at least one reaction ya mwili and all that. And then after the 2 weeks, akikuja kuchukua dawa, then you can have a sit down with that client.
Okay.
Umekuaje? How has the journey been? Who have you told? Do you think, are you comfortable? Are you ready to tell anyone?
Yes.
Have you told anyone?
Yes. Wow.
You see?
Wow. I mean, it's a huge task.
It is a huge task.
For you especially. Because even just the thought of it right now when I'm seated across you and explaining and I'm imagining myself as a client or myself as you, it can take a lot from you, especially when you have to give them the unfortunate news.
Yes.
And also, again, the clientele is vast. You know, it could be a rape victim, it could be an innocent child who didn't know what to do and was lured into this. Maybe the one who has discovered they were born with it and they've never really, you know, it's quite hectic, yeah? Wow, all right. In Kenya, we know that there's been very many efforts to especially get rid of the stigma, infections and reinfections. And again, with the little knowledge I have, maybe I want you to walk us through the numbers, how they look like. Are we doing well as a country in terms of reducing infections? What are the age groups that are highly infected? From a perspective of a professional like you, could you walk us through that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right now, the HIV in children has actually reduced drastically.
Wow.
Because most of the parents, people are aware.
Yes.
You know, that's not the advantage. People are aware.
Yes.
And when the parent is found to be HIV positive, what is normally done, they are given the treatment of ART and all that, yeah?
Yes.
And then this child, when they are born, they are given medication for prevention.
I see.
Yes.
Yes.
They're given prevention. Okay. So when they're given an antibiotic and an ARV, the antibiotic at least is good. It helps in reducing those those opportunistic infections on the child.
Okay.
So, and the reason as to why the numbers of the infants imeenda chini ni kwa sababu sasa unaona mzazi ameshajua. Sasa kama kitambo ati ulikuwa unajua and then unaificha chini ya maji. So now the parents have known and they have actually, most of the people have decided to take medication.
I see.
So the numbers are reduced. Yes.
Yes, and Judy, I'm just going to cut you short because I feel like we need to address this from a very fresh perspective, from a mother to child transmission, and then walk us through how the other numbers are looking like, especially in age group, yeah? So we are going to take a short break. I want you to think about all these things, and maybe you can share your thoughts on HIV, what you know about it, and if you regularly get tested and how you feel when you're getting tested and what you're doing to avoid that, you know, the fear of walking into, we used to call it VCT, I don't know whether they call it that anymore, Voluntary Counseling and Testing Center. And we're with Judy, who is an amazing lady when it comes to this particular issue. She decided to do it, inspired by her mom's work. And we'll see you right after the break.